Hi, beautiful ones. My intention with the Shamangelic Healing podcast is to be a platform that explores real-life issues and provides you with valuable insights and practical tools to support you on your journey of healing core wounds and reclaiming your power and manifesting a thriving, impactful life that you absolutely love. You see, it's my dream to inspire millions to shine. So if you find these topics valuable, please take a moment and share the podcast and leave us a rave review. This helps the podcast grow and reach the people that would greatly benefit from these insights. Thank you so much for tuning in and investing in your personal development. I'm right here walking this journey with you. So let's dive into this episode. Welcome to this episode of the Shamangelic Healing podcast. I've got spiritual boss babe in the house, Stephanie Bellinger, and you, my beautiful soul sister, were here in Sedona with me last year, and that's one of the ways we met in person. But I was on your podcast, the Spiritual Boss Babe podcast, last year, and that episode we kind of dove into how to navigate shifts in your spiritual led business. And so I'm so grateful to have you on the show today. And we're going to dive into how to manifest your dreams faster with more of an abundance mindset and how mindset really plays into manifesting your dreams. And we're going to be talking about all things that, like how to accelerate what you want in your life and how to move out what you don't want. And so for those of you that don't yet know this beautiful soul sister, she is a spiritual mindset pro and a transformational coach. So this is why we have so much in common, and we just found like a kindredness in each other. And because we're talking about dreams, we are going to be having a free gift, a quantum guided visualization, and also a discount on our Quantum Leap Manifest Your Dreams into Your Life program. We're going to give a discount on that. So check the show notes for that. So my dear soul sister, Stephanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Anahata. I am so excited to be here. I'm so honored to be on your podcast, and I can't wait to see what unfolds. And it was awesome seeing you in Sedona a few months ago. I can't wait to come back. So magical.
You were with a couple other beautiful soul sisters, and booked with me a group breathwork for.
It was so powerful.
Yeah, right, for the sisters, and it was so powerful. I think when people have a common intention, this is one of the ways to accelerate and manifest your dreams faster, is to kind of clear out what is in the way of that manifestation or that mindset or a block or a limited thinking. So that was a phenomenal experience. So I know you'll come back here to Sedona and we'll do it again. Yes. with more sisters next time. But tell us a little bit about what a mindset that is kind of more in lack. What does that sound like? So that we can know, do I have a prosperity mindset, or do I have a mindset that is more scarcity?
Well, it's really a lot about like the internal dialogue, but also how you're feeling, it kind of is related. So a mindset of lack is like, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve this, or it's going to be hard to receive the things that I want, or to make the money I want, or I'm going to have to do all of these things in order to achieve my goals. And it's going to be this big, long, drudgerous thing. Or I don't have enough. I need to save what I've got. And people fear, investing in themselves or taking that leap because they're stuck in this paradigm of, well, what if it doesn't work out? Or I don't know if I can actually do that. So it's feelings and thoughts of not being good enough, and just heavy, dense energy that is not actually the truth of who you are. And the first step is really just becoming aware of that in order to actually be able to shift it.
Yeah. What was a scarcity mindset that you were raised with, or that you were living, that you became aware of, that preceded your ability to shift it? So what was when you were raised with, or that you grew up with?
So for me, it didn't necessarily have anything to do with like like abundance or money sort of stuff. I mean, I'm sure there was stuff there. Yeah. I mean, we all have our stuff. And it is all related actually at the end of the day. But for me, it was this, there's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. I'm not good enough. And that was something that I felt from a very young age. Um, I'm not blaming anyone. However, my older brother did, like, he contributed to that as a young girl. Being picked on by my older brother was like very detrimental to my ability to process what was happening. I obviously now know that he was just being a kid as well and all that stuff, but it really had an effect on my identity that I had formed. And then going into school, people would pick on me because I already had this belief system of I'm not good enough, there's something wrong with me. And I went into school and just became mute and quiet and was afraid to talk to people and was afraid to be seen. And that's a lot, or the reason why I do what I do now is all about like expressing yourself and like really knowing that you actually are everything that you want. It is you.
So what I'm hearing is that there is a lot about self-concept and self-worth and self-value in order to even get to the mindset of being just, you know, deservability, of
Yeah.
that, like I can do this, or just the confidence that I can do this, instead of if I feel like I'm not enough, then there's this already underlying belief that I can't, or I'm not going to be able to, or that's only for those other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you've identified value and self-worth as having to do with that abundance mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, what I noticed within me was that I noticed how you said it might be difficult or challenging or hard or too hard, or I'm not going to be able to do it. And that's another thing that I picked up as a kid, is that it has to be hard. You have to struggle. You have to work overtime. This is what the three role models that, you know, my mom and my dad and my older brother, that were the biggest role models for finances for me as a young kid. Like, my brother worked the night shift. My mom worked 2 jobs. My dad was always making bad financial decisions. So there was always debt. And so I realized that it's at a certain point in my life, I'm working 2 like I felt I was working 2 jobs, because I was working the night shift because I was hustling. You know, I was doing the night shift, I was doing the morning shift with my own business. And those were programs that I needed to deconstruct. And so I think it's really valuable for people listening or watching to be like, what are the influences that create my current mindset around what am I worthy of? And also, what is it going to take for me to manifest it? Is it ease and grace, or is it hustle? And you know, can it happen without having adrenal fatigue and burnout and a heart attack and losing relationships? And do I have to hustle to get my dreams? So what do you think about that, as far as, you know?
Well, I experienced some of that with my mom. She was always like, "Oh, you got to work." You know, I got my first job when I was like 14, and there was this program in school where we could leave half day and go to work. So I started working from a very young age. My mom like really drilled that in my head of like, you know, you really got to work for what you want in life. And I actually do see a positive side of that because, you know, I'm very consistent and definitely take action on my business to be able to create what I've created. And at the same time, it doesn't always have to be this hard hustle thing. Like you mentioned, I personally took so much pride in my hustle. When I used to live in New York City, I had my personal training business. I was all about the hustle. I was like, yeah, I'm going to make everything happen. And I'm a consistent person. I'm dedicated. And I like it. It was like part of me at one point in my life for sure, until I realized that it does lead to burnout. And it's a lot of energy that's going out, of your energy that's going out in all these different ways that can be directed in a more powerful way to that vision, that path, that aligned path for you, whatever that looks like, or whatever that is in the moment. So that was something I had to work through, like little later on. And I realized that, yes, there are challenges along the way on our journey. It doesn't mean that, oh, everything's always going to be rainbows and butterflies and easy, easy, easy. So that's not exactly what I'm saying here. However, a perspective shift on that really helped me. And that was just realizing that just because there's challenges along the way or little road bumps or obstacles, that's just an opportunity for you to learn and gain wisdom so that you can carve an more easeful path going forward. So it doesn't need to be like this roadblock or, oh man, like it's just like, okay, well, what can I learn from this obstacle, this challenge, this road bump, so that I can create a more easeful path to abundance in all ways of my life. It's just that contrast is showing you what you don't want to get a better idea of what you do want, and how you want it to look like and how you want it to feel. We're crafting this experience.
I thank you for saying how it should feel, and also that everything is just learning and refinement. Because if you don't know that you're having a lack or a scarcity mindset or a limited belief about your own self or worth, look at your life to see if you are content, if you are happy with your current form of abundance, your current form of health, your current lifestyle, your current money in the bank, your current relationships. And you get to, that's a great like check-in point to be like, is there something that isn't working? And this is what I do with my business. I'm sure you do too, where, wow, this used to work and now it's not working anymore. Or I'm experiencing burnout around this particular thing, or I'm having diminishing returns on a certain area of my life. Like, okay, great, I'm doing well, but what is the cost? But I'm burning out. And I think it's very valuable to just kind of check in with where you are right now to see what's working and what's not, so you can determine, is this a mindset thing, or is it the way I'm going about it? Is it a self-worth thing? And the willingness to say, what do I need to let go of in order to allow something better in? You said making big, courageous leaps to invest in yourself. And so when someone is, let's just having pains, maybe it's growing pains or stress pains, or I don't love what I do anymore, maybe I never did. And so if somebody is feeling that, what would you recommend they do?
If someone is feeling growing pains or
like they're not satisfied with the way things are.
I would say to zoom out a bit, so they're not so in the story of what's going on, so that they could see the bigger picture and tap into their heart and ask themselves, what is it that I'm craving? What is it that I'm seeking? What is it that I need in this moment? And I always talk about how everything's created from the inside out. And so, a lot of, we're in this 3D reality. So we look outside and want things, but really it's cultivated inside. And so if you're dissatisfied with something in your life or in your business, where are you not acknowledging something within yourself? And or maybe settling for something you thought you wanted, maybe because other people said it was great, or maybe because a past version of you wanted that, but now that you've grown and you gained more wisdom and knowledge and all this stuff, well, what do you want now? And what do you need to give yourself in this moment? I think that clarity comes from getting into flow, and that comes from your state of being. And so, like, our state of being, like how you're feeling. So having like a practice or a ritual, or just a practice that gets me into a state of flow, into feeling really good, into just out of my head, in my body, in my heart, is what helps me gain clarity. It's not always just like meditation, even though that's great. A lot of times for me, it's like dancing, or, just something creative that gets me into that new inspired place of clarity and inspiration, and moving on to that next level. I think that a lot of times when people feel stuck or like they're going through a big shift, it's because there's a shift in identity that's happening. And it's like the rest of them is catching up to it.
I love that you said about identity shift, or that if there's a frustration, it might be because uh, you're in the place where the past version of you created, like a past version of you would have been content at 22 with this lifestyle or this job, and might have really valued it. And now it's like, do I still really love that? And I appreciate that you're saying, hey, check in. Definitely, um, you know, visit with, are these still my dreams? Is there an upgrade happening? Can I raise my expectations? Can I raise what I think is possible? And you don't need to be an entrepreneur to be asking those questions. This is for everybody. Like, am I happy with my primary relationship? If I don't have a relationship, am I happy with that? Um, and do I love what I do? And do I love how I do it? Because we're in a place right now where there's so many changes around. Hey, you could be virtual, you could work at home, you can have hybrid jobs right now. Like, there's so much possibility to create a lifestyle where we're not just stuck in a town with a job where we can't go anywhere. There's also lifestyle limits that are saying, wow, you know what? I can take my kids on a road trip and be seeing the world while they're learning. And so we can also raise the bar, not only for ourselves, but for our partnership, for our families, or for our vision of family. And what lifestyle? Like, what do you really, really want?
Yeah.
So in this conversation about, manifesting your dreams faster, it's important to know, what are your dreams? And are your dreams small? Are they somebody else's? Are they an outdated version? Are they society's dreams that you bought into? And so that's where self-inquiry comes in, to say, what are my dreams? And question them. Are they the right dreams? Are they the dreams of my soul? So how do you tap that? We talked about getting into flow state, but I mean, like, really thinking big, wildly about what is possible.
Can I say something before I get to that question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the big dream question, I'll put that over here right now. So there might be moments where people feel frustrated in the realization of, oh man, my life isn't the way I want, or oh man, this shift is happening. And that frustration is teaching you something, though. It's literally showing you that you're not actually doing what you want, or something's out of alignment. And so it's okay to feel that. I remember I had this moment a few years ago where I had this draw a line in the sand moment, where I was crying and I had this breakdown, and I was like so pissed and frustrated because I was tired of not making the money I wanted, not making the level of impact I wanted. And I felt like I judged myself a little bit in that, until I realized, oh, wow, this needs to come out, because it's literally like a part of me that's like, no, this is not okay. This is not okay. We are raising the standards here. Like, this is what's happening now. And it was like a deeper layer of like making a decision that opened so much more up for me. So yeah, there's so many lessons in the contrast when you're going through shifts.
That's something really important for all of us to hear. And I always keep reminding it, like, anytime I get to a place of frustration or stress, I'm like, something isn't right. Something isn't. I have a meltdown when I just like pulling my hair out when I'm in any of those places that I know either my mindset or how I'm going about it, something isn't in alignment. Frustration, depression, and addiction, all of these things are clues to go look at making a shift about what isn't in alignment. And I remember many years ago in my business, when I was just getting started, and I was doing the doing, and then I was also doing all the administration, and I was like doing everything. And that worked at the very beginning when I was starting my business decades ago. But then I was working two jobs, the night shift and the day shift. And that exhaustion, that frustration, that not being able to be patient with my kids when they were little. For that time, I was like, this has got to change. And that's when I started making the bold move of, hey, it's time to get somebody in here and help. But I had to meet all of my financial issues around, can I pay the bills, and am I worth that? And, can I do it? And there's going to be a lot, those growing pains that you're talking. So I talk about those being growing pains. Yeah. They're clues about something that needs to shift, or that needs to grow, or needs to be released or reached for.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, because it's part of the journey. And even if you're on your soul's mission and your soul's path, you're going to keep bumping up against the ceiling. You're going to keep bumping up against, there's another way, or you're outgrowing that, or there's a way to be more efficient with this, or more profitable with this. And this is what I of course, as an entrepreneur, you should always be asking that. Is there a better way? Is there a faster way? Do I still love doing it?
Yeah.
Okay, so back to big dreams.
So big dreams, how to align with them, or how to...
I feel like in the dreaming, in the coaching that I do, but also for me personally, really pushing myself and inviting my clients as well to really give themselves permission to dream.
Yeah. I think that everybody has it in them to dream big, and especially if you're on this path of like living your purpose and your soul's mission, and you felt this deep calling. Because let's be real, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably someone who has a deep calling. You felt this thing inside of you, like wanting to be expressed, sharing your gifts with the world, or sharing yourself with the world is really what it is. And so for me personally, I've had big dreams for a really long time, as long as I can remember. It stemmed from a really dark time in my life after I got out of an abusive relationship that I was in, went from 14 to 20. I remember just declaring to my higher self, God, universe, whatever, that I'm going to make the rest of my life the best of my life. I'm going to do everything I ever put my mind to, and everything I want, I'm going to just, go after it. And it was like this spark of motivation and inspiration. And I think that when it comes to dreaming big and allowing yourself to do so, it's all about connecting to the possibilities and using your imagination, and knowing that there are infinite realities, infinite possibilities out there for you in the quantum. Everything's already is. And your soul knows this. You may consciously forget it at times, because we're humans, we have amnesia sometimes, but but just reminding yourself, like, your soul already knows you have this beautiful bright light here. You are more than enough, worthy and deserving to be, do, and have everything that you want. So allow yourself to dream, because it's in that space, the imagination, the vision, and allowing yourself to explore and play in that place, that shifts your vibrational frequency, it shifts your energy, it shifts your thoughts, and it expands your consciousness. And when you actually start to go towards that, or rather bring that towards you, you end up on this beautiful spiritual journey, because growing your business, doing your soul's work is a spiritual journey. Living your dreams is a spiritual journey, because you've got to become the version of you who is in that reality. And when you stay connected to the possibility and the imagination and the reality of that already exists, you gradually do become that person, because you're like, oh man, like, oh wow, this limiting belief has popped up, and I say I want this, but this thing is coming up, so I need to look at that. Or, I'm feeling this frustration or this anger, and it's preventing me from calling in the relationship that I want. So I really want that. So I need to look at this and process it and whatever. And so it's like this commitment you have to your higher self, saying, this is what I want. These are my dreams, and I'm going to work with you and co-create with you, higher self, soul, spirit. And I will do my part in being the awareness of what's in the way.
I love that. That it's a co-creation. I think one of the things in the limited dreams is when we think it's the I, the small I, just me manifesting this, rather than saying, well, there's already a mission, there's already an alignment, there's already a direction that includes me living my wildest dreams. And there is that possibility that already exists for me to be in joy and impact and also prosperous. And so there's definitely a mindset shift, not only in the awareness of I, but the bigger I and the higher self, the higher possibilities and the divine plan. And I think that's one of the things that is definitely shifting when we're talking about really manifesting at a soul level, not just manifesting money or a certain lifestyle. That you have so many clients that are already at that $1 billion mark, and yet they're knocking on my door because they're not happy. Mm-hmm. At a deep level, we're not talking about the abundance of just the small I attracting things. Mm-hmm. Or we're talking about the bigger I, the cosmic I, the higher self I, that is saying, oh, I can co-create with the universe. So I'm not doing this alone, which provides a shift in the mindset that, because the small I thinks that we have to hustle and do it alone. And I too lived in New York City, hustle, elbow people off the sidewalk. Like, wow, I'm becoming quite a little bitch here in my early 20s, like, get out of my way. I'm manifesting my dreams from a small I ego place, rather than today, the dance of understanding that I'm in a cooperative relationship with my higher self, with the universe. And from that place, I have insight, I have resources, I have courage, strength, I have perspective and guidance that the small I ego won't allow in, or doesn't know to allow in, or is too arrogant and conceited to need guidance in any way, and is going to hustle and do it itself. And that's, wonder why I experience burnout, you experience burnout, and I'm still dissolving that tendency to want to throw elbows and go and push, versus just saying, let me step back, let me breathe, let me listen, let me ask, let me receive, and then let me move forward. It's not that it's not an action-based life, but it's the action is coming from where there's an alignment, mm-hmm. and where there is cooperation with the universe. So what does that practice look like, connecting with higher self or your soul guides, or what does that look like? Because, you're the spiritual mindset, guru here, master here, teacher here. So what does that, for those that are accustomed to hustling without that connection, what's something that you can do to create that connection, but also keep it ongoing so that we have that support in our everyday choices in all the different areas of our life?
I think it really comes down to being more present. Mm-hmm. And because if you're thinking about the future, or you're worried about the past, you're kind of like giving your power away. And when you're present, it's easier to hear your soul speak, in my opinion. In my experience, whenever I'm more present, whether it's just by journaling out my thoughts. I like to do automatic writing a lot in my practice, ever since, as far as I can remember. I would write everything that I'm feeling, things that I want guidance on or whatever. And then I would pause. And then after that, I would do automatic writing in the response. And that is has always been really helpful. That's one practice that is easy to do, to tap in and connect with your higher self, your soul, whatever you want to call it. Music is a huge thing for me. Music and shifting my state in that way, really, I get so many ideas and inspiration, and this inner knowing comes, in full force of oh, I already got this. It's already done. There's nothing to worry about. There's only to be, and the doing stuff comes from the being of what I'm embodying. And so it's a practice of awareness, of presence, and of understanding that you have the power to transform your mindset and your life. And there are a lot of tools that will help you do that. some of those things are as easy as asking better questions. Instead of asking like, why is this happening? Or where did this belief come from? Or why do I still feel like this way? Or what do I, it's like, ask better questions that are more empowering. Like, do I actually believe that? Do I know others who have achieved what I say I want to achieve? What would happen if I didn't believe that? What do I want to believe instead? And start to dissect what's going on that's not empowering so that you can actually shift it and transmute it. That's one way. And then there's other tools like I teach NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. I teach about like hypnosis and different tools like that to help with making quantum leaps, because there are certain tools that allow you to speak to your unconscious mind in a much easier, more effective way, to be able to go in there, rework that program a lot faster than just trying to do it all with your mind, your conscious mind, because it doesn't always work that way, So yeah, and also hypnosis is a huge one too. Or just like frequencies. I like listening to frequencies like 532 hertz or 420, whatever, one of those. It definitely shifts things on a frequency level too for me.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love that you just said was ask better questions. Mm-hmm. So in your journaling, like when life is a shit show, when it's melting down or chaotic, is this what I really want? And the other question that I like to ask is, what is this situation trying to teach me?
Exactly. I was just gonna,
yeah. So if okay, your employment may have changed, or your business or your clients may have changed radically in the last 12 months, understandably so, then it's like, oh, what is this experience trying to shape? What opportunity exists here? What can I learn here? What is a creative way to solve this? Instead of to shift over to the mindset of the victim, this shouldn't have happened, whose fault is it, and focusing on the details of the chaos. And that it doesn't mean that there isn't an assessment to look at, how did I get here? And I love that question as well, so that there's an accountability. Okay, if I was in a job that I didn't love, how did I get here? Why did I stay here? Or if it was in an abusive relationship, how did I get here? Why did I stay here? And what shift inside me is happening that is allowing me freedom from that, from that trap? Or if there's frustration, I remember with a system we were doing years ago, we implemented a system, and it was just not it. And it's supposed to save time and save money, and it's supposed to make life easier. And in every way, it wasn't doing that. And instead of trying to band-aid it, I was like, it's the wrong system. Like I got so frustrated, and I was back to what you said, zoom out. I'm like, it's not about fixing all the little pieces. It's the wrong system. And I didn't want to see that, because, when you're asking the questions, you've got to be really willing to have an honest answer. Because it might be time to leave a relationship. It might be time to leave a career, or stop doing something in your business, or shift a friend, or move physically or energetically out of a place or a state that you're in, or a circle of friends, or away from a substance that doesn't align with who you're becoming. And it was like, when I zoomed out, it was like, oh, wrong system. But I didn't want to deal. A lot of times we don't want to face it, because that means I have to change, or that's going to cost me thousands of dollars, or it's going to cost me, I have to start all over again. And so we resist that change and keep staying in the pattern, stay in the relationship, stay with the system, stay with the job that doesn't fit, because of, back to what you said at the very beginning, it's going to be challenging and uncomfortable to start a new job, or to end this relationship, or to tell everybody I'm going through a divorce, or explain why I'm leaving this job. And the process is too challenging. So a lot of times we'll sabotage ourselves in that place, just because of the process. But it was the truth. I needed not to be there with that system. Also, I went through a marital liberation, and it was like, hey, if I'm really feeling that there's something better in my life, I need to be honest that I have to let go of this thing. So you make a very good point about asking better questions and also taking accountability, not from a bullying place, but just from a truth place. How did I get here? Oh, I hired the wrong, or I got that system too quickly, or I was not paying attention to red flags, or I didn't trust my intuition.
And yeah, sometimes that can be that can feel challenging in and of itself to be actually take responsibility for that too. Of like, I know for me, like when I was like, when it came to a certain relationship, it was very challenging to ask the question of like, you know, or realize like that I allowed it to happen as well, you know.
and you know, I think in the self-reflection, whether it's around your relationships, whether it's around a health diagnosis, whether it is around, you know, okay, I have 5 figures in debt or whatever it is, meeting wherever you are and whatever situation you're in right now with compassion and understanding that was the best you could do, and that now you're stepping into an awareness. Because it doesn't help us if we're saying, oh, you shouldn't have taken that loan out for that, you know, you shouldn't have spent that money, or you shouldn't have made that choice. And it's like, but I did. And it's more about, yes, accountability. And here I am, and here I am, and here I'm meeting the truth of where I am, so that honestly, I can start to shift my mindset about what was the mindset, what was the vibration, back to vibration, that I was at when I made this choice. And it's like, well, I'm not that person anymore. And the person who I'm becoming, what would their mindset be? What would their inner dialogue sound like? So what does that prosperity and like abundance mindset sound like? What does it feel like? What's it do every day, you know?
So the abundance mindset, it feels expansive. It feels like there's a lot of possibilities. It is the internal dialogue of, I can do whatever I put my mind to, even when there's challenges, even if I have a bad day. It is this inner knowing and trusting yourself that you are resourceful, that you will figure it out, that you are still alive and thriving right now, and you've made it this far. You can continue to expand and allow yourself to receive more. It's a feeling. It's like, I always tell people, what makes you feel abundant? Forget about like the actual money or whatever things. Like, let's just talk about abundance. What makes you feel abundant? Maybe it's literally like, I don't know, walking out in nature, you know, around the lake where all of these nice houses are, and just like being in the energy of that. Maybe it is, you know, being with your friends and having like really amazing conversations that are really expansive. These are some things that was for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, you know, dancing to a song that makes you feel pumped up. I have songs for days that like, they tap me right into feeling like so abundant just by listening to them. Just the sound, the vibe of them, just feels abundant. So what makes you feel abundant? Start doing more of what makes you feel abundant. And that will actually support the thoughts that you think and the actions that you take. So it's a practice and a commitment. Like, I remember when I first, like, not first, but I was going through a really big shift in my abundance mindset. And I remember what was going on during that shift was I would feel those fears come up or those old stories. And like, I worked on them when I had to work on them. But then there's like, okay, you can work on your beliefs and dissect them and all that stuff. But then like, where's the line of realizing, oh, this is just a pattern. This is just a thought pattern. And so that's kind of like something that each person would probably have to do for their own self. For me, I was like, all right, I'm not even going to entertain that thought right now. That's ridiculous. You know, that's not serving me. Like, for example, stressing out about paying taxes or paying bills when I'm, and I consciously chose to like shift those thoughts and realize that, wait a minute, literally I'm here in this present moment right now. If I think about that, it's gonna make me feel this shitty way that I don't want to feel. That's gonna cause me to, just probably not take action or not feel resourceful. But I'm here right now and I actually have a choice of where my thoughts and attention goes. So I'm going to fuel my desires and my abundant paradigm over here and like make that vibration stronger than anything else, because it's your dominant vibe and your dominant thoughts and focus that actually create the experience. And we literally have the power to orchestrate that in any given moment. So I had that realization. I was like, wait a minute, and if it was something that I needed to dive deeper into that was like really like loud, then yeah, I would go to my tools, do hypnosis, like dive into those questions, whatever. And if it's just a pattern, it's like pattern interrupt. I'm going to do something different.
Pattern interrupt is huge. And the awareness that a pattern, because if we're not checking in, then patterns just go on repeat and then they become a habit, and a pattern turns in, and then a habit turns into a lifestyle. And it's like, oh, this is what I do at night. This is what I do after work. This is how I process stress. And self-reflection really is essential in checking in to be like, is there any inner dialogue, any thought that is creating a distortion? And I love how I call it the pivot of catching, because sometimes we just need to catch, and it might go a while before we catch it. When we're in a funk and an inner dialogue, the inner critic's just going berserk. It's just going crazy. Like, oh, I can't do that. This is, I know it's pouty, it's bitchy, it's angry, it's the victim, or whatever's going on in there. It's overwhelmed, it's disempowered, whatever the voice sounds like that is a low vibration. That ability to just pattern interrupt, query it. Is it trying to show me something? Is my irritation as a result of something that I've been avoiding? Or is it just I'm being a whiner right now? I need to pivot, that our brain waves are frequencies. You talked earlier about different frequencies of the brain waves and shifting your state, and that your brain has these different brain waves. And the busy doer is that beta brain wave, the busy do, go. And as we shift to alpha and to theta brain waves, we're starting to shift from the focused do, which is great for executing things, because it's in the moment and it's focused only on the task ahead, and it's focused on survival. It does not pull back, like you said, and look at the big picture. And when we shift into more the theta brainwaves, beta theta brainwaves, we start to shift. Oh, there's other possibilities. It's a more joyful mindset. We're more connected to universal energy, and we zoom out, and that's where consciousness can shift. That's where breath work comes in, and we move out of the cognitive into the etheric, and we move into the subconscious mind, and we can, through the breath, access unlimited possibilities. That when the mind is here in the little alpha, it's like, nope, this is all that's possible right now. And so I love that you mentioned to shift your brain waves or your vibration. If you're in a funk, put on some music, go do a cold plunge, get out of your funk, go take a walk, take some breaths, and pivot, shift sometimes your physical body in order to shift your energetic and emotional body. So then from that more hyped up or chilled out place, then we can access a different brainwave state that can see the same picture or the same issue or the same dream or the same life with a much bigger eye of possibilities, even if it's, okay, this is a big challenge that I'm going through in my relationships or with my finances or with my business or career. From that shifted vibration, more solutions are available. That's where being in having those spiritual practices that help us to access higher brainwave states and higher consciousness, then we can see perspective. This is happening for me and not to me. Like we can kind of walk ourselves off the ledge a little bit.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you mentioned that the abundance mindset sounds like a possibilitarian or a positivitarian, that sees even the most challenging things as an opportunity, or sees it that there is potential, or there is a gift here. No matter what it is, there is a gift in the greatest challenges. And I think that's one of the mindsets that navigates manifesting your dreams, because when the first challenges come, and they will, when the setback happens, when it isn't always easy, or your commitment is challenged, or something about the way you're doing it isn't working, and so you get that reflection, if you aren't having a positive mindset that is going to be able to overcome those obstacles, you'll sell out your dreams quite quickly for the status quo if you're not having a positive mindset that you can get through it and find a way.
Mm-hmm. So good. Yeah. And there's one thing that also, like, that I love to remind myself that, and others, is that you are not your thoughts. You're not the stories. You're not your past. Like, you are literally not any of that stuff. It's just, you are the being who's experiencing it and witnessing it.
Right.
Like, it's not actually you. You're not the thoughts.
Right. That disassociation, that, especially because if the thoughts came from our older brother, right? So that's where we're doing a thought check-in, but also a thought reset, like program overwrite, because most of us have limiting thinking or false beliefs that are creating thoughts that are false, or in that scarcity mindset, or are negative in nature. And so that ability to pivot or shift, like you mentioned earlier, is essential to be able to be like, whoa, pause, time out. I'm not this thought. By the way, this was given to me by somebody else. It's outdated. It's definitely corrupt, and it's false. So why would I give energy to it right now? And so that puts responsibility on us to be rewriting the positive thoughts that we're going to replace that with. So what are, like, I can do it. What are some of the mantras that help you overwrite that little girl that thought she wasn't good enough, or in the business that is able to face taxes, like, okay, got this. What are some of those ones that you use to help you?
I like doing any mantras in the mirror when I do them. I go all out. So they change. It depends on like what I need to hear that day, or maybe in that moment. So, it could be, a lot of things like, you're fucking awesome. I love you. You're amazing. Oh my God. Like, I have everything I need. It's always here for me. I'm resourceful. I have tons of resources and connections. I have achieved all of this. Like, I focus on also, like, look at everything I've done and created up until this point. I am limitless. Abundance is all around me. I am surrounded by abundance. I'm surrounded by amazing people. I am grateful for my life. I am a powerful creator. I am the goddess of my reality, and just like reminding myself. Sometimes I get silly with it too, it's because it just changes my state. I do a lot of mirror work, mantras, mirror work, music, and movement.
I love it. That's a beautiful four-pronged attack on mindset. Is so mantra, for those of you that aren't familiar with that term, is just something that you repeat. It's also an intention. Another way of saying that is an intention, but something that you repeat daily or often. And the other thing that I noticed with you, and that Joe Dispenza also talks about it, is also the energetic match that goes along with your intention.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just, this is how we overwrite the brain, with repetition and intensity. And it's not just saying, I'm a badass, I can do it, like,
No, put on your pump up song when you say it.
Exactly. And so the brain will prioritize it as an important program with your vibrational emotional intensity match. And when I've been on the land, with a whole bunch of people doing our intentions on the land, and somebody saying, I'm joyful, I'm joyful, happy, and I've found the love of my life. I'm like, I'm not buying that for a second. You better like get in the zone and try it again, because who are you trying to sell that to? Because it's yourself that has to believe it, and just repeating it without, no, this
Emotion.
is possible.
Yeah.
This is, with like, it's possible. Even if in this moment you're 5 figures in debt, you're like, I am going to have this much in the bank by this time. You've got to have that fire and that intensity, and there's got to be the belief that I can do it. Even if in this moment you're so far from that, you're rewriting your belief system in that moment. And a repetition, like, and passion and emotional intensity is critical to wire it in. So I love that you do it in front of the mirror so that you can see your expression, and if your body language is all humped over and like pathetic looking in the mirror, or you can see in your face, like, if you don't believe it, that's a very good tip. And you know what? I haven't done my mantras in the mirror lately.
Oh, it's going to change the game, especially when you add music. I have this huge mirror. It's like a full-length mirror. It's in my living room, and because I just like to have it in the middle of everything. It's like my highlight of the day is the mirror, you guys. It's really funny. I'll walk down in the morning to start my day in front of that damn mirror, and I call it the reality mirror. And I basically speak my creation into the mirror and embody it, and put music and movement and get silly with it. And I tell that mirror everything, but I'm telling myself, it's like speaking it into existence.
One of the things that I love that, because it sounds like you just get on fire.
It's fun.
It's fun. When you start the day with the high vibration of fun, it's more likely that the conversation that you have are going to like bring things to you when you're in a high vibrational joy state, that you'll attract things, you'll have more ideas, you'll be able to handle with more grace when challenges or surprises show up throughout the day, because they do. And so one of the other things that I really enjoy is also, and this is kind of a Joe Dispenza, mindset hack, is visualizing it. Really visualizing that better version of health, that lifestyle of freedom, that abundance in whatever way that you're wanting to really manifest, is to see it in your mind first. And also in your mind, you also don't want to be like dragging your feet along the beach. Yes, I have a beachside, villa in Maui. It's like, oh my, you want to be on the beach, skipping around, seeing the rainbows, spinner dolphins jumping out of the water. You're like, oh my God, I love my life. And in that vision, dancing wildly, so grateful that you have made the choices to manifest this dream into reality. So how has visualization played a part in your practices, and how has that accelerated things for you?
With visualizations, I've been doing visualizations forever. Even if you just spend like 5 minutes 3 times a day, or a couple times a day for just 5 minutes, like seeing, hearing, and feeling like yourself living in the end of what you desire, with already like having it, it changes everything. So visualization is huge for me. I like to do it to connect with the future version of myself that already exists, and really get into the energy of it, see it, hear, feel everything that's going on. Like like when I moved into my new place, I had this vision of what I wanted to look like and how it would feel, and like what I would, how the light would shine through the windows and all these things. And I manifested the perfect place, and it's amazing. And so, and that's just one example. I manifested a lot of things, but the vision of it, and it can happen really quickly, of being so connected to it, because your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what's imagined. So the more you visualize, but getting all of your senses on board is the key to visualizing. I mean, you want to really get all of your senses on board, to make it as real as possible, because it is real to your unconscious mind. It is real in the quantum too. It's like, so visualizing, just, it kind of creates. So here's another visualization tip, actually. You want to see it through your own eyes so that you're experiencing it, but then you also want to step out so that you see yourself in it, because that way your unconscious mind it knows that it's there, but it's not here yet. So it kind of creates this magnetic pull where the resources will come, the people, the opportunities, the ideas, the synchronicities to make it happen faster if you do it that way.
So I hadn't yet thought about making it from a witness perspective. I've always had myself in, I love that, for sure, the senses, smell it, taste it, see it. What do you hear when you're when like one of my fitness is about different summits that I'll be on top of, and so I see the view. My heart is pounding because I'm at 14,000 elevation. And I hear, oh, we did it, like I hear my hiking buddy or whoever I'm with, and we're just like, look at these views. Oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe I'm here. This is so fantastic. So I look down and I see my hiking shoes. I feel my legs. They're like, okay, I've been hiking this far. I feel it. I smell it. I taste it. And that makes it such a difference, because then when you have the experience, you're like, I've already lived this. And it's just a beautiful affirmation that you can pre-dream your life into reality. This is, a shamanic way of doing things, is dream it here first. And everything that this computer was dreamed in someone's mind. These lights, the clothes that we're wearing, the earplugs that were like, these were all dreamed first in somebody's mind, and then brought into reality. And
Isn't that cool?
It is so cool. We are capable of that level of manifestation, and are really just scratching the surface to our potential. Just scratching.
Yeah.
So absolutely, visualization. That what we have is part of that free gift, is a guided visualization, and you can. In that guided visualization, you can plug in, okay, this is my romance dream. This is my fitness dream. This is my best-selling author dream. And you can have all of these different vignettes of you just kicking ass in life, and play different ones of those each morning, dance it out, smell it, get in a high vibrational emotional state, so that like when I'm really pumped in that place, I'm like laughing tears of joy and gratitude, and my family goals of just, as my kids age, and as someday they'll have kids. And so I have goals, family goals that are 2 generations out. And, I see how I want to be as an elder with my great grandchildren, and I have tears on my face when it chokes me up now, because I get to feel the vibration of the kind of woman that I want to be as a matriarch in the family. Like, you can play your dreams out that far of what kind of impact you want to have in life. What legacy are you leaving behind? And so this isn't just about dreaming big for your life, and so that you have the stuff that you have around you and that you have the money that you want in the bank, but it's dream really big about how we could co-create a better community of humanity. How could we co-create and dream into reality together, a more harmonious relationship with our Mother Earth, so as we invite you to dream not only about yourself, but we're also inviting you to dream bigger dreams for humanity and for the planet.
Yes.
Right?
Amen to that.
So what is a vision or dream that you have that together we can dream into reality, like in this moment, about a vision for the future that will, that we can't just create by ourselves? It's going to take us together dreaming some of these bigger dreams into reality so that we shift things and leave the planet better than we found it when we say our goodbyes with our last breath.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, that's a big question. I think that we should contribute to dreaming the collective dream that already exists, that we're living on earth that is full of love and freedom and abundance. And I really do believe that's possible. I believe that we do have the resources, and we're like, humanity is evolving. We're going through this big expansion now. And the more leaders and conscious leaders who really step up and shine their light and allow themselves to receive an overflow of abundance in all ways, we can literally contribute to like complete world change. We can put our money and finances to good causes. We can continue to allow it to grow through investing it in a smart way. We can support so many different things, like, people who are homeless and hungry, and that shouldn't even be a thing nowadays at all. It's kind of ridiculous that it is. And I just feel that, I personally think that in my lifetime, I'm going to see a crazy, beautiful shift like that. And I think that if we together dream that dream of really living on planet Earth, where it's full of love and abundance and open hearts and fully awakened, conscious people that really, is just love. That's what we are. Then we can dream that into existence, or at least pave the way and continue to pave the way like we've been, but continue to fuel that. At least if it's not in our lifetime, at least it will be in the next, and we'll be back to experience it.
Right? I love that you are laying the foundation for this to be a continual journey. And both you and I work with people, individuals, groups, and things like that to help shift the personal vibration of love so that we have more people vibing in their heart and higher consciousness than that are in survival, war, or hate, or the mentality of scarcity, because that is what creates separation. That's what creates dissonance, is that there's not enough, or, I'm not enough, or somebody is unworthy. Either that's I'm unworthy, or that person, because of their color, their socioeconomic status, all of that is back to earth. And so you and I are doing wonderful work in this area, and want to talk about that in a second so that everybody knows where to find you. Is that, that's one of the roles that you and I are playing, is to help individuals wake up, so that as individuals step into that higher frequency, we're more accountable, we're more in integrity, and we're more in harmony with our relationships and how we treat Mother Earth. So it starts with individuals. And I think we're getting to this place now where there's enough of us that are woke-ish. It's a work in progress for sure. That are, wanting to make a difference, not only for ourselves, but for humanity as a whole. And this is where it gets really juicy, where we're manifesting bigger solutions onto the planet. And we're doing it with larger numbers, not just one person coming up with a sustainable product, but if high vibrational people like yourself, like myself, and other, influencers and people that are in that financial flow, living, the life of their dreams, are in a vibrational state with their resources, as well as in a vibrational state with their heart and consciousness, to say, hey, we can band together and support this company. We can band together and birth this product, or bring awareness to the solution.
Collaboration too.
Absolutely, collaboration. And so just dreaming that there is deep roots that as we stand individually, we can rise together collectively in creating, you know, more conscious community and harmony and
I
human
just
and,
get
and
goosebumps.
also sustainability, so that we can be in not only that love vibration within us, but our love vibration in how we treat the planet.
Yeah, we're basically like reseeding Earth.
Exactly. And that's what a star seed really is. The intention of a star seed of coming from the heavens, here now, is how can we seed a higher vibrational consciousness into humanity, so that, we're living the collective, we're manifesting the collective dream of love and abundance, prosperity and sustainability collectively. So that's the dream, sister.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing your part, as you are just a beacon of light. And your podcast, how many episodes now are you on? You're just a machine.
186.
Oh my God, sister. So for those listening and watching, you've got to go check out the Spiritual Boss Babe podcast and go back and listen to the one, episode 152.
Oh, see,
152.
152.
Yeah. And we talked about all kinds of different things about, shifting the mindset in your business,
Yeah.
spirit-led business. Sister, is there anything else you want to share with everybody before we close about, manifesting your dreams and an abundance mindset?
Just keep going and keep shining your light and embracing the journey, the magic that's in the journey, because it's helping you grow and you're acquiring so much wisdom. Be more present, have more fun, because fun is truly the answer. My favorite mantra is, the more fun I have, the more abundance I attract in all ways. That's my favorite mantra. Now so have more fun. And yeah, it was an honor to be on the show, Anahata. Thank you so much for having me. And I guess, should I let people know where to find me?
Yeah, absolutely. Where can they find you?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram most of the time these days. I'm at The Spiritual Boss Babe. And then I have my podcast and my community on Facebook, Spiritual Boss Babes group is a really awesome place. And yeah, you can find everything also on my site, spiritualbossbabe.com, all the things.
All the things. And I'm so excited to have you back here in Sedona. We'll have our own little goddess retreat, or whoever's coming, and just dive in, shifting our consciousness and raising our vibration, and also looking at where there's opportunities to collaborate. The invitation for all of us is to do our inner work and then get in the game about how you can collaborate on bigger dreams together, whether that's, hey, we can do this community, or we have this tool, or we want to produce this product, or we want to get behind, we want to help finance, this other dream. Like, let's level up, brothers and sisters, and let's really start to do our individual work, so we can really manifest the collective dream with high vibrations. Because, clearly it's been shown to us, we need to lead this country. It is not left up to anybody else but us to lead in the way that we vote, with our choice, with our dollars, with our vibration, with our thoughts, and with our actions. So thank you so much. For everybody that is tuned in, go look at the show notes for that free quantum guided visualization and a discount on our group program. That is the Quantum Leap program, which is a monthly program that guides you through very specific high performance strategies to living the life of your dreams, and hacking tools to help you get there. And so go check that out. Please go leave a review on the podcast. If you enjoyed this, please share it with others, because it really helps us get the word out. So please do that. You can always find me at shamangelichealing.com. And I'm here in Sedona, Arizona. So stay tuned for upcoming events that are happening this spring. We've got a Soul Awakening retreat in March and a Goddess retreat in April that is fully almost already sold out. So go check that out, and more amazing events coming. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Spiritual Boss Babe, for your wisdom and your high vibes. Love you, and we'll see you in Sedona soon.